calling? Calling's not what you're paid to do. Listen to me, family. A lot of us think that our calling is what we're paid to do. No, it's not what you're paid to do. Your calling is what you were born to do, what you were created to do. So yes, that person may not stop you from going to your job. But are they taking you away from purpose? I've been in relationships like that. Now, they didn't stop me from working. But what I feel like I was purposed to do on this planet, they took me away from. And if there's a situation in your life where you feel like you were purposed to do something, you're created to do it. Meaning, and how do you know what purpose is? What do you know? Purpose is the thing that you do that if no one was paying you to do it, you'd still do it. Because it's natural for you. If no one was paying you to do it, you would still do it. No one got to pay you to do this. This is from your heart. You do this in your sleep. You do this, and when you do it, it fulfills you. When you're done, you don't feel like you don't work. You feel like you're like, oh, I'm brand new. I could go run a marathon right now. That's how you know you're in purpose. It's not what you're paid to do. What you're paid to do is only how you pay the bills or take care of your family. What you're created to do is something different. It's beyond that. It's bigger than that. It's an impact that you create on this planet that no one else can do. Your unique thumbprint. What does it do? And what happens is, family, and it makes me so sad, is that some of us settle down with counterfeits, people that will take us away from our passions, make us feel guilty for pursuing the things that God has put you on this planet to do specifically. If somebody loves you and their love from you is from God, they want to support you in exactly what God wants for you. They want to support you and help you thrive in the areas that God has created you to do. That is what a man or a woman that is sent from God will do. They're going to push you into purpose, and they're going to support you in purpose. You're not going to be out here having to deal with arguments on the way home from purpose. You out here, let's say your purpose is to make music. Let's say that's your thing. That is what fulfills you. That is what makes you that. Like, you could do music. You'd be in the studio all day. You wouldn't even look at the time. You just be in the studio. And the person that you're with, because of their insecurities, over here like, wait, what? You're still there? What are you doing? You must be with other women. I don't understand. Are you kidding me? So you're still there? Babe, look, I'm showing you. There's nobody here. It's just me and the engineer. We ain't doing nothing. Even with that, what about everything we supposed to do? Yeah, no, that's not somebody that, I'm sorry. Hello. You're gonna go. So what are you gonna do? Why you always do that? I don't understand. Now I'm left here. I have all this stuff to do, and then I can't even do it. But you're out here just at the studio all day long, and it's like you don't even look at the time. Blah blah blah. Make it a problem. Now you coming home to World War VII, and you don't even really want to come home to World War VII. You like, I gotta go home because you my girl, and we got a family. But dang. Don't she know that this is what I'm created to do? Don't she understand? Or don't he understand? Like, y'all, I'll be honest with you. I've been in situations where I'm like, dang, you want to silence me so bad. Why? Why don't you want me to speak? Why don't you want me to be who I am? Why don't you want me to speak the way I'm speaking? What does that do to you? And it's because the enemy is not them, family. It's not them. We do not war against flesh and blood. We war against spirits, principalities in dark places, high places. What does that mean? The purpose in taking you away out of purpose is to keep you from purpose. That's the point. It's not about what you're doing. It's not about what you're doing. It's not about that. It's not about, it's about the enemy knowing specifically that that is what you're called to do. And he uses somebody near you to get you out of purpose. How do I know that's true? Let's go back to the story of Job. In the story of Job, Job is inflicted, right? Afflicted. There's four things that happen. His children die, all his wealth, everything he owns is burned to the ground. All his workers are literally, they're all I think they were all unalived. And there was something else that happened. But there's four things that happen back to back to back to back to back. He then, the enemy goes back to God and said, listen, I bet I can get him to turn from you. Let me get another shot at him. I'm going to inflict him with sickness. God says, I'll allow it because I trust Job. We see Job, he's afflicted with boils, painful boils all over his body. His wife looks at him. His wife looks at him and says the very thing the enemy had told God he wanted to get Job to do. What was that? Turn from God. So she says, why don't you turn from God, curse God, and go and not live? I'm trying to say that in a way that does what it's supposed to do and nothing gets turned off on this internet space. He used the person closest to him that was fragile and vulnerable enough and not spiritually sound enough, which is why I said the first point, not spiritually sound enough to understand or discern even in a moment of pain and weakness. Because we have to think about, this is a woman who lost all her children. She's lost her family. She's lost her home. She's lost her workers. In literally 24 hours, she's lost everything. And now her husband is sick and he's inflicted. She was fragile. She was vulnerable and an easy target for the enemy. And because she was fragile and she was vulnerable, the enemy used her to do what? Attack her husband, question him, and get him to do the very thing the enemy wanted him to do, which was to curse God and decide to unalive himself. That is what she wanted him to do. That wasn't really what she wanted him to do. That is what the enemy had whispered sweet nothings in her ear. And because she was not discerning and she was not thinking about it in that way, because she was so caught up in her own pain, in her own grief, she blindly repeats what the enemy whispered in her ear. It wasn't about the wife. It was about the fact that she was a vulnerable target that the enemy could use to hopefully steer Job away from God. That was the point. And so why do I bring this all back? Mystery of Yah said she was under the Jezebel spirit. Absolutely she was. She was under the Jezebel spirit. That's why this is so important, family. Because a lot of us have decided to give up on love, give up on relationships. And it's because we chose wrong. It wasn't God's fault. It wasn't what God did. It's what we did. It's what we chose. And if we look back on it, we're like, did God have anything to do with the choosing of this person? No, it was me. There was things that I wasn't listening to, promptings I didn't allow myself to really pay attention. Like, why do I feel this way? Why is this always happening? Why do I feel like we just decided it was the right thing to do, and we did it, and we pay the consequences for it. You have to understand that. That's why this is important, because the enemy, if you are not with somebody that is spiritually sound and spiritually aware, will use that person to keep you distracted from purpose. The person that God has for you is going to propel you into purpose. Right now, he's getting men out of deciding to be in a covenant. Why? Because in the Bible, it says, when a man finds a wife, he finds favor from the Lord. There are certain levels you will not reach without getting married, without being in covenant. You're just not going to reach it. You're not. He obtains favor from the Lord. So yeah, I'm going to create a generation of people that avoid marriage because their parents didn't do it. They friends didn't do it. This, that, didn't. No. He specifically wants to take your promise from you. While you out here thinking that you wild and you living the life you want to live, the enemy's over there having a field day on your behalf. Look how deceived this knucklehead is. Look at how he he's just ruining these women's lives. Just doing the enemy's work. He's just breaking these women's hearts so they don't want to get married or they decide to settle as well. I'm just wreaking havoc and he's playing a major role in it. Don't be deceived, family. Don't be deceived. That's why it's important to know if it's a counterfeit. Because we think it's very light. Oh, I'm just messing with her. I'm just dealing with him. That's why situationships, casual sexual activity, that's why we think that this thing is just so, oh, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is amazing. We're so free. We're so awesome. Yeah. No, you're actually deceived. You're deceived. You are. It is what it is. It's okay. We all been deceived. Why? Because the enemy is great about allowing these spirits to come around and impact you. Because now people ain't hiding the fact that they doing witchcraft. People out here on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, openly doing witchcraft. So you're seeing demonic influences, wondering why you can't get ahead, wondering why you can't get to the goals that you have, wondering why you feel like you're stuck, wondering why this season in your life is going the way that it's going. And you're like, wait, I don't understand why. Because the choices that you're making. You think God's going to bless mess? You think God is going to decide, oh, you know what? He hasn't obeyed at all. Let me promote him. He don't listen to me at all. Let me decide to take him to the next level. No. God says in the Bible, he says that when a man decides, knows what he's supposed to do, and decides to do something else, when a man knows what he's supposed to do and decides to do something else, this is not just men, this is women as well. When we know what we are supposed to do and we don't do it, it is considered a sin. It is considered disobedience. So when we decide and we know we walking in disobedience and you're like, well, God, why? I don't understand this. Why am I going through this? Well, you know what? Maybe if I look back on my decision making and taking some accountability, maybe just maybe God's been trying to get my attention for a minute. Maybe just maybe God is trying to stop the boat before it crashes. Maybe if I just take a moment and stop dealing with these women and stop dealing with these men and stop taking in the lies of culture, maybe just maybe I will see a shift in my life that not only will impact me, but generations after me. Maybe just maybe. Maybe just maybe. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my family today.